campagnola bella, sei la reginella, negli occhi tuoi c'è il sole, c'è il colore delle viole, delle valli tutte in fila. Se canti la tua voce è un'armonia di pace che si diffonde e dice se vuoi vivere felice devi vivere.
Cari amici sportivi, welcome to episode 2 of season 3 of Red Card Weekly, here where we mostly speak about the Serie A, sometimes some international, sometimes European, and yes, well, we're not professionals, nor do we pretend to be. Always Stevie P and Vinny T every week talking all about Serie A, Italian calcio, and yes, this week we have a common nickname to our good friend, Signora Cassano here, as you can see in our background pictures. Yes, his beloved Inter might have won by a touchdown. But there's one thing that's for certain, that we still think that you're a total clown.
Huh? Very nice, very nice.
Especially after that move there. So guys, we're going to try to do something different this week. We're always talking about these articles that we find, the social media, this and that. So we're going to bring up a couple of articles and we're going to talk about what
the game related to that article.
There we go. So guys, why don't we start off Saturday's game? Roma was playing at noon. And loved this bit here by Il Capitano, as you can see in the back. Totti, Roma 3 punti, buono come il pane. What do you think he would mean? Like, 3 points that even though sometimes il pane è duro, il pane è fresco, but il pane è sempre buono, and you got 3 points, and it might not have been the prettiest soccer game, Steve, but the Ninja got it done again, no?
Yeah, and it's a very well put quote, because we have to agree that with Champions League, and of course we're gonna say it again. We say it every year after the trap game, which is the game right after the internationals, international break, which ends up being the second week that the season's supposed to be going, because someone can't understand the schedule for that. Yeah, the Ninja put on a pretty good show where unfortunately the game wasn't spectacular.
No,
Roma created chances. They decided to sit out Sergio Gervinho. They started up front with Destro.
Yeah.
Had some chances, a little bit of penalty calls, but it's a typical trap game. Their midfield did dominate, of course. Empoli had some flashes of.
De Sanctis had a couple of good saves too, but in the end, Steve, doesn't it come down to this midfield? Without even still with Strootman injured, and you're still managing. Yes, you still played Empoli, but. Can we really judge that this Roma is deep enough? We'll see, obviously, with the coming weeks.
Nainggolan has been their best midfield player so far.
Yeah.
It's it's week 2. As you guys know from last year, I'm not a big Nainggolan fan. I thought that the purchase of Nainggolan was a waste of money, but he seems to have been proving me wrong, and I can admit to that. When I have an opinion and it's wrong, I admit that it's wrong.
And this is kind of like when I'm talking about Strootman, is they kind of similar players. So look at that depth in that team with Strootman and
it's a lot of depth. And Rudy Garcia decided to do his first official turnover, and that we like to call it, and it worked out well for him.
Yeah.
So look, guys, Roma need to win ugly games.
Which
it's not always going to be pretty. It's not always going to be a fantastic offensive display with a defensive suffocation. It's going to be ugly games. Playing in Champions League, the only thing that matters is 3 points.
There we go. And they got it done. So let's see what they manage up on, I believe it's Wednesday that they're playing. Over that, then we had Juventus play, I believe, Juventus B, as you call them, Steve.
Yep.
I know you got riled up. There were a couple of people there on
no problem.
There. No problem. So Juventus does win 2-0 first game at home. Evra had an interview at the end. Actually, his Italian is pretty impressive. I was really impressed, and he was talking about how, as you see, ho mai lavorato come questo nella mia vita, and he actually even said that Allegri è più duro, is actually harder than Sir Alex Ferguson. But talking about the game itself, look, I don't think Udinese's won against Juventus in the longest time.
But they're not allowed to win against you.
In the end, Steve, they played better than they played the first.
No. Udinese is a bunch of chicken shits. They're chicken shit. Look,
Sonia Misio is still
yeah, and I'm pretty sure she's gonna agree. If she doesn't agree, then I don't know what Udinese you're looking at. You're looking at a Juve team who is thinking 100% right past Udinese to Champions League.
Yes.
They're playing at home. I understand they're playing at home. It's fine. I don't even expect Udinese to win this game, but put up a fight. Put up a fight.
Yeah.
There was nothing. There was nothing there. Stramaccioni, he was dreaming in La La Land about when he brought his fabulous Inter to the Juve stadium, and he was the first one to beat Juve. Juve crushed you. They crushed you with their beating. They crushed you when they didn't have a chance. A broomstick could have coached that game yesterday. Don't tell me about these stupidities of pressing higher and pressing this and pressing that I've been hearing on Twitter from these people who overanalyze the game. Juventus is a far much better team than Udinese. That's point final.
Yeah.
Juve is expected to win this game handily.
100%.
Point final. And this is Conte's Juve.
Still
Don't tell me Allegri came and in 2 weeks he rechanged all the tactics, because that's bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't care if you write for whatever stupid magazine you write for or any website. No one can come to a team and in 2 weeks change the tactics of the team. It's impossible. The players are programmed. They're programmed to play Conte's Juve.
Basically, I think what it comes down to, whether it be Conte with the Nazionale or Allegri with Juventus, after 2 weeks, we cannot say that.
No, you cannot tell that. You cannot judge him.
Maybe Allegri is going to have a 30-game winning streak.
But Allegri, who in their right mind would get the keys to a Ferrari and drive it like a Volkswagen Golf?
Yeah.
It's just ridiculously. Not even him, and I'm even giving him credit, is dumb enough to change the mindset of these guys. Allegri himself, he thinks of himself as a tactician. That's fine. Conte is a motivator.
Yeah.
He's a full-fledged motivator. He motivates his teams to get the best result. He will make Cáceres look like Maldini. He will tell him, you are Maldini. Today you will play like Maldini. Cáceres will go on the field and he will play like Maldini. Allegri, on the other hand, cannot do that.
Allegri is a tactical. Like now he has some injuries to deal with, but I believe that the way Juventus played, even though they played a lot better than Udinese, if Juventus would play the way they did, they're like, foreseeing already the Champions League, that you're playing a Roma, you're playing a Milan for that matter.
They'll never do that. They'll never do that.
We'll see what comes up next week. And just before we move over to the next games, is that
in that game against Udinese, there's no reason for them to press. There's no. You could talk about pressing high, pressing low, pressing on the side, pressing, get your suit pressed, get anything pressed. You're playing a team that is far less superior than you are.
And on that note, I hope that comments like this does give us a bit more respect. I know it doesn't go very far like the Italian media, but Serie A is not a joke league, even though we don't have the popularity. But if ever a World Cup champion, a European champion could say stuff like this after all these years at Manchester United, I don't believe that Allegri could do this Sir Alan Ferguson. But saying that he hasn't worked this hard, just the way we heard about Tarap last year when he came over from the EPL, same thing. So let's just hope that this is one of the few small steps that we gotta get back into the groove of things, not be taken over by France or Portugal for that matter. Guys, the touchdown by Inter. There's not much to talk about here. Completely dominated. We had Mazzarri with the broken hand. That's yeah. Your San Francisco 49ers are playing right now. They're winning 10-0. Okay. Guys, other than talk about Simone Zaza not recognizable,
let's get down to the point
me.
of it. Sassuolo sucked.
Yeah, and guys, seriously, you're gonna compare Simone Zaza playing with teammates at Sassuolo again, so.
No, but it's totally fine. But this is like a side. It's a side subject that I would like to touch on because Talavecchio.
Yeah.
He's not an intelligent man. He says a lot of dumb things. But can we give him credit when he actually brings up a good idea? I think it's time that Serie A goes back down to 18 teams. There's 2 teams too many in this league. Now, if there's 2 teams too many, you take the best players of those 2 teams, who are too many,
yeah,
and inject them in a team. For example, I'm just bringing it out there, like Sassuolo, you're not going to get 7-0. Because don't tell me that in 1990, the team that was number 17 or 18 was getting beaten 7-0 by a team like Inter. No offense to Inter, who looked very good.
No, but the way I'm looking at it too is that Inter, this game did not have any, like, the unwritten rule of the pity at 4-0. They just kept on going, and I think they needed it for themselves.
It's okay. That's another thing.
There was a red card as well.
If you want to keep on going, keep on going. But when someone elbows you on the bridge of your nose, don't complain. Don't complain. First of all, Sassuolo, get someone else to elbow someone in the back of in the nose or in the back of the head, whatever. Not your second best or your best player.
Yeah.
No. Use someone else. Use someone who won't be missed the next game, but someone has to pay the price. No one paid the price. Your best player paid the price, and he's not there.
And he's not there in the next game. Yeah, exactly.
Inter wants to keep on going. Keep on going. That's fine. People are going to continue to get hurt.
That's it.
And that's the way it's going to go. But that's just the logic. There's nothing wrong with Inter. Inter could have kept on going. Sassuolo, they were like a starfish. Come.
Agreed.
Come and take me. Come and take me.
To Francis, Kovacic isn't get the media exposure. Kovacic is a fantastic
But it's better. I told Francis it's better he doesn't get the media coverage.
He's no pressure.
Keep him a secret till he's worth a lot of money. And then they're going to sell him. It's all... Icardi, the same thing.
Yeah.
He keeps on scoring 3 goals. You're not going to see him in Inter for much longer.
And Guarin, I think this starting back at 0, scoring a goal, he was still celebrating a lot, even though it was like that 0.6-0 is just that it's good for him. Let's see if Inter can hold him. I don't know.
Inter looked good today. Yes, I have to say I watched a little bit. Inter did look good. They did a lot of good things.
But against Sassuolo.
You still got to do those things.
Yeah,
you got to get 7 behind that goal or whoever it is.
And Inter, I do believe we spoke that could be the surprise.
The
surprise. Okay, so we have ADL, we have Rafa, and il sondaggio. La colpa è di chi è? Di Laurentiis or Benitez? Now, guys, you obviously know Napoli lost 1-0 today. To the Flying Donkeys. What's the goaltender's name? Bardi?
Yes.
Inter owned Bardi.
Yeah.
Fantastic saves.
Inter basically this year could have 2 goalers who just stop all the penalty shots.
What happened, Steve? Because I was watching Fiorentina.
I watched
the penalty missed by Higuain.
Look, Higuain. The penalty shot is, guys, you know that it's always in favor of the shooter.
Yeah.
Bardi made a good save. But Napoli needs to... The honeymoon is over for Napoli, okay? What I mean by the honeymoon is people have caught on to what Napoli does.
Yeah.
Napoli like to keep the ball. Napoli like to play pretty soccer. Unfortunately, Napoli is very thin. They're very thin at the back. Okay, don't tell me that you purchased someone. No. You're thin at the back. Napoli is thin in the middle.
Oh.
Yeah, because Ingle and Jorginho together doesn't seem like it's working.
Or they need more time to gel. Well, maybe that's what all these new signings.
The gel is in Hamsik's hair. That's where the gel is. There's no time to gel now. This is the honeymoon is over. Players like Higuain, if he left Real Madrid, he will not think twice about leaving Napoli.
It's
Callejon, if I'm not mistaken, ex-Real Madrid.
Yeah.
If he left Real Madrid, he will not think twice to leave Napoli.
Now, could we consider this right now? It is very early. Can we consider this a hiccup?
No,
right
there's
now?
no hiccup. No hiccup because
you
should have won this game because last week you should have not won that game.
That's a very.
You understand? There's not going to be many Napoli-Sampdoria games from the week before. So you gotta pick up the pace and you gotta figure out what's going on. And a lot of it is inside here. Insigne should not be starting this game.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
It has to be Mertens. He does so much more on the field than Insigne. I mean, Insigne is from Napoli. You have no choice but to start. Bullshit. It's bullshit.
So who do you give if you were to answer this survey, would you give the fault to Rafa or would you give the fault to ADL?
The fault is everybody's fault.
Everybody's fault.
Yeah, it's both of them. One wants to be, he has his own Twitter account, he has cheerleaders at the games, but he has no center backs. Right?
Yeah.
The other guy, Benitez, I don't know if he's asking for these players and he's not getting them, or he's just thinks that he's okay with the players that he had. Benitez was famous at Liverpool for the turnover.
Yeah.
Right? He can't turn over anybody. He could barely turn over himself in this Napoli team. Don't tell me that Guzman's good. Don't tell me that Mishu is the problem.
I say it's too early to say. If they keep on slipping like this in the next coming weeks, then
the thing is that the soccer, the football's not there right now.
Yeah.
Not there. Everybody overreacts the preseason. If I would be a Napoli fan, I would start to overreact now.
Like we've seen a couple of tweets out there. So let's see what Napoli musters up next week. Moving over to Lazio now, guys. Lazio and Lotito ovunque, as you've seen on the internet, Lotito's been everywhere, right? That whole joke going around. Lotito and Lazio presented a gift to Mr. Miroslav Klose for his World Cup tenure and goals. Now, if you could take a look at his face, and if you can see me on Steve, that's a plate. To me, it just looks like a plate. So what kind of a gift? Lazio does come up with the 3-0 win. But we saw the good Lazio this week. Candreva had a very good game.
Okay, but this team, whether we saw the good Lazio or the not Lazio, all our Lazio listeners or viewers, your team, you cannot be... Look, I've seen Milan really, really bad for the past 2.5 years now.
3 years, yeah.
2.5 to 3 years, I've seen it really, really bad. I've never seen them so demoralized like Lazio. Candreva scored a goal today, I thought he was going to start crying. I honestly thought he was going to start crying. Like as if he doesn't want to do good for Lazio. I sent out a little tweet there. I know the answer from Romanista because they hate Lazio. But everybody else, would it be that bad to play with Lazio? Like, I don't know. I find that it would be pretty cool to play a professional soccer.
Bianco Celeste, I think that's some history, and you get plates and you get nice, and you have a president like Lotito, but I don't know what's going on. I think it's 3 years we've been trying to figure out what's going on.
It's very hard to figure out Lazio. If someone could tell me about Lazio, I saw just the highlights of the game. There was positives from Barolo as well.
What was his name?
My God.
Yeah.
I completely forgot his name.
Stefano Mauri scored, Candreva scored. In the end, we always call him the Dr. Jekyll and the Mr. Hyde. We saw it with Lazio. If Lazio actually plays like this for, let's just say, I don't know, 3 games in a row, I think they maybe mustered 2 games in a row last year. But let's see if this guy stays healthy, maybe. They don't have to think about it.
Today he didn't start. They started another young, promising talent that they've picked up in the center forward position, who came on as a sub against Milan.
Oh, he is
very, very dynamic. Looked pretty good.
So let's see what Lazio brings up next week. Fiorentina, Genoa. This one, I think, honestly, if I would have to bet on a game this week, I think I would have bet on Fiorentina to win. Like, they're playing at home. Gomez is starting. He was completely absent and got actually subbed out after the first half. And I want to take the time to take a look at our friend Jinkers, Giancarlo Ronaldo, our favorite Viola, on Twitter. Same old music is often heard from Fiorentina today. All the play, most of the ball, but no chance converted. Frustrating afternoon. I think that really sums it up. And it seems like we're waiting for something to happen to Fiorentina. Poor Giuseppe Rossi, but if Mario Gomez cannot pick up the slack or be a bit more present, I hope it's just this one game. But on game, yes, Perin had a fantastic game, don't get me wrong, but you can't be battling for top 4 spots playing like this.
Look, Fiorentina is another team that has a bit of a problem, is that they're very thin.
Yeah.
They're very thin up front.
They had Matrio last year, the good captain.
And I understand they have Mario Gomez there. You see Ilicic there sometimes, posing as a striker. It's exactly that tweet. They can build up in the midfield as much as they want. If you have no one to put the ball in the back of the net, you could be as strong as you want defensively. You're going to lose 2 points that afternoon because you're going to end up drawing.
Tutto fumo senza rosso.
Unfortunately, that's Fiorentina in a nutshell. And as we could continue going, then an injury or 2 is going to hurt them.
It's going to hurt, especially to have Europe as well.
That being said, Fiorentina is struggling like this. Napoli struggling at the moment after 2 weeks. Yes, everybody, please. The show we do it week on week basis. This is week 2. This is my opinion on week 2. Just because I'm saying opinion because a lot of people this week very, very frustrated on Twitter. They forgot the mentality of Twitter where it's actually to give an opinion.
Yeah.
So I just want to make things clear. It is week 2. This is our analysis of week 2. It could change. But right now, third place is up for grabs.
Definitely.
Third place is up for grabs. The Milanese clubs are licking their lips right now. They're not as far as people thought they were.
And
they're really not as far. I personally have to admit that I thought they were way, way, way further than Napoli and Fiorentina. Oh no, they're not.
As we're speaking right now, for what we've seen on the pitch, right? But you guys all know Serie A can change from one week to the other one. But speaking of third spots being up for grabs, speaking about Milan, and let's get into this one here because there's a 0-0 game. There's not much to talk about. Una partita clamorosa, as we could say, stupenda to certain points. I'm going to throw this out to you. Yes, we can talk about Menez, fantastic game. We can talk about Menez throwing himself on the floor, getting fouls. We can talk about how we won the game. But should we be talking about how we let 4 goals in? Should we be talking about how Mattia De Sciglio didn't have the greatest of games and even a couple of brain farts?
Yeah.
These are things, yes, we can always say, oh, the Edmonton Oilers Grant Fuhr used to let go 3 or 4 goals back in the 80s, but they used to score 5-6. That's one thing. But Milan, I don't know if we can keep this up. And yes, it was a great Greentel victory. Menez was a great, probably going to be a top 5 goal of the season.
Is this our last one?
This is our last one.
Okay, I'm going to start off with my red card. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, and I'll play it too. It's a 5-4 game, guys. It's 5-4. That's 9 goals. On average, in those 9 goals, in any game, in any league, if there's a 9-goal game, there's going to be mistakes made. So don't tell me, oh my God, this game, it was full of errors, it was full of mistakes. Yes.
Ref was awful as well.
Ref was off. There's referee mistakes. The penalty on Menez was very weak.
Very weak.
It's a penalty. He decided to give him a yellow card when he's clear on goal. Yeah. That's another mistake if you want to look at it like that. If you're going to give him the penalty, the shot. When you take a shot, I don't slide like this with my arms like this. I slide like this. If the ball hits my arm like Bonera, it cannot be another yellow card.
No, that's why everybody was defensive.
It cannot be. Whether you want to take is it in or is it out? Fine. The mistakes at the end usually they even out. Some people are gonna say, no, Milan, it's always in your favor. Blah 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 blah. My red card is to all those people that are complaining about a 5-4 game. Complain if you want about the 7-0 game. I totally understand you. Hey, 5-4, the English Premier League, they wait under the Christmas tree for 5-4 games. And let me tell you, there's a bunch of garbage in the Premier League. And in the La Liga and in the German League when there's 5-4 games. So don't tell me there's no leagues. So what we do wrong as fans of Serie A is that instead of saying and looking at the positives of the 5-4, we look at all the negatives. So we do what we do best as Serie A fans. We negatively market our own league. Instead of positive. The EPL would have took this 5-4 game and they would have made it the game of the century. They would have made it Arturo Gatti against Mickey Ward times 4.
I was actually watching a game on a BT Sport feed and they were actually, what a tremendous game.
Because there's a lot of back and forth. It attracts the casual fan. No, what we do as fans is we say, oh my God, did you see that back pass by De Sciglio? Did you see that back pass? Okay. What do you want to do, guys? It's a crazy game from the beginning of the whistle. It's going to be crazy consistently for 90 minutes. That's what we're going to get. That's my red card. If you want to talk about De Sciglio, I have a bone to pick with De Sciglio.
Well, I'll let you speak about him. For me, guys, we did good. It's obviously not the greatest of games. Still some stuff to work in, which people did say at the end. But we should still be celebrating.
Hey, how about Pippo Inzaghi? Before we go to De Sciglio, Pippo Inzaghi celebrates every goal like he's wearing a Milan jersey.
That's true. And kudos to Nigel de Jong. What do we need Fernando Torres? Nigel de Jong takes the ball away from Cassano. Cassano just giving up. I thought I saw Gattuso there running like he
It's a perfect shot. Rai had a good shot for a good camera view. It was from behind the net, staring through the mesh of the net, right past Mirante. You see Nigel de Jong, the pit bull. He's coming forward, and you just see Cassano looking.
And chapeau to Rai for actually changing music. They actually have modern music now.
Yeah, it's Coldplay on a continuous loop. My God, you want to shoot yourself in the head.
My red card.
No, before you get to your red card, we're gonna talk about the Shilio. I tweeted it out, you saw it. At the end of the tweets, if you see SP, it's me. If you see Vinny, it's Vinny. Okay?
Most of the time, it's him.
De Sciglio gets no more free passes from any Milanista. This has to be a rule. De Sciglio wears number 2. That's the old Cafu.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
He plays nothing like Cafu, by the way. De Sciglio is the next coming of Maldini, according to some Milanisti. De Sciglio cannot tie Maldini's shoelaces. De Sciglio plays with no enthusiasm. De Sciglio has a terrible first touch. De Sciglio has terrible soccer knowledge at this young age. De Sciglio cannot make a proper first pass. De Sciglio cannot put in a cross. If you put anyone else's name in front of those 5 things that I named, and please people, prove me wrong on Twitter that he could do one of those 5 things, or he does all those 5 things right.
He had an okay game with against Norway.
Yes, because with Norway he played in a 3-5-2 formation.
He does not
and at 3-5-2 he plays as one of the 5s. At one of the 5s, you're not a defender.
I think that's what maybe the Shield. Maybe look, Inzaghi.
Hey, last year we gave Abate hell.
Yeah.
We gave Abate hell. This year Abate looks pretty. He put in a good ball.
Good cross,
still making a couple of mistakes, but he's gaining confidence.
But he's right.
De Sciglio has 0 confidence.
Hopefully De Sciglio does turn it up, and maybe Inzaghi might, maybe.
People want to pay 12 million for it. I don't understand. I'm all the way here in Canada, and I pick these things. And this is the team that I love. I love them. I'm able to criticize. I'm able to give my opinion on someone who I care about in this team.
Yeah.
I want him to do well. Right now, from last year and this year, De Sciglio does not deserve to start.
Good point there. I'm going to finish off with my red card. My red card goes obviously to Lotito, putting himself in a position with Tavecchio. There was already rumors that you guys were kind of in cahoots, and now you're just showing up everywhere with your Nazionale jacket everywhere. So you're just drawing attention to yourself. You might be friends, you might not be doing anything, but that's the whole thing because the media grabs a hold of that. Guys, next Saturday, Milan Juventus. We're going to open up Parkway here in Montreal. If you guys want to come, by all means, the place is going to be ours. We'll see each other next week for week 3 and hopefully for a Milan win over Juventus. Steve?
Cheers.
Ciao.